welcome back to Rugged Mountain Homestead. My name is Sarah, and Dean and I have been busy up here this morning running errands, but mostly doing our monthly supply haul and pickup from Azure Standard. This morning has been a bit crazy, and so we're just now getting in, and I have all the boxes in. And so I'm just going to go ahead and open them with you and see what we have here, and can talk about the pantry a little bit. Okay, I try to be faithful to do a lot of baking and making Dean's breakfast, but I am not a huge breakfast person, and thankfully he just likes his sweets in the morning, so that works out really well. But this time I went ahead and I did order a case of the grass-fed blueberry and strawberry yogurt, and I'll grab one of these in the mornings, and that'll be good. Each of these did come to be less than what's in the store. I'm sure you could buy the store brand probably for a little bit cheaper even. I know I've seen those sometimes too for $1, but I love having the organic, the raw milk, and I think it does make a huge difference not to have all the artificial preservatives and coloring in there. So I have a case of blueberry and a case of strawberry. This, I believe, I'm going to double check, but I believe this might be a case of raw milk cheese. Now, I know that in the past video or two that I have gotten the small blocks, and the reason for that is, like I said before, I don't have my slicer out yet, and so I can't really take care enough to cut up in sandwich slices, and I could shred probably, but I don't want all shredded cheese. Anyway, I tried the Landmark, which is also made by Rumiano, and we loved it. And it's in an 8-ounce block. It's the raw cheddar cheese, and I got a whole case of it for like $25, and it comes up to be 5 pounds. So 5 pounds for $5 a pound for 5 pounds of raw cheese is really excellent. Like I said, we just got back from errands, so everything is kind of a little disheveled at the moment. Okay. Oh, blueberries. Frozen blueberries, 5 pounds. These are really nice. I've bought these in the past. I get those in the freezer. And I make a blueberry buckle for Dean that he absolutely loves. I got it out of his mom's cookbook that I was gifted when his father passed away. And so I have some of the older recipes that actually work out really well, because a lot of our current recipes, they'll call for 3 and 4 eggs in, you know, a sweet, a baked item. And then a lot of these recipes, since they're older, only call for like 1 or 2 eggs. You can really tell the difference from how many ingredients they used in the past, probably out of supply and availability, to now. Okay, I finally bit the bullet and got a small, I guess it was considered half a case, but it's a full case for coffee. So it's 6 bags of this Equal Exchange organic coffee. We really enjoy it, and it seems like 3 bags get us through a month, but just right at that mark. And so I want to make sure that we did not, for any reason, run out of coffee.
Sarah's gotta have her coffee.
This box was like the super heavy one, and I have a feeling that it's a repack of a lot of the dry goods, and I'm hoping they're all in here because some of them seem big. And I'm sorry about the lighting over here, but my grow lights are on right now, and that just can't be helped. I'm trying to do this with one hand. All right. It's always kind of like, feels like sometimes a little treat because, you know, you place your order like 2 weeks ago. And get these packages. Okay. Organic maple syrup. This, even in the store, is expensive. I think it was like $23, but it will last us a long time. This is 32 ounces. The last one that I purchased was before we left Virginia. Dean's salsa, he really likes it. And I even said this time, I said, let me order a case for you. And he's like, oh no, it's not something I need. I don't have to have it, but I promise you, we will go through all 3 of these before the end of the month. I think I'm just going to go ahead and order a case next month until I can get regular salsa or my salsa going. And then we have 3 ketchups. These are priced less than the ketchup in the store. Trust me, I'm always looking for a good deal, good price. I'm all about being frugal, but also eating well, what's good for us. So a lot of times that means cooking more and less convenience items, unless I prep those myself too. Okay, this is a gallon of organic extra virgin olive oil. This is not cheap anywhere, but I know this is excellent olive oil. And the reason that I know is because when olive oil gets cold, which this is, it's chilled, it will kind of start solidifying like this and will not stay in the liquid form. But after being out for a little bit, it'll come back to a liquid form. So that's really good olive oil. I love it, but I priced it in the store and they're all expensive right now. 3-pound block of cream cheese. I needed that. Not only do I love bagels, but with the Easter holiday coming up, I will make a dessert with this too. This is a treat for me. The Nancy's Probiotic Garlic and Herb Cream Cheese. This will be awesome for my bagels. A 1-pound bag of cinnamon powder. I was almost completely out, and with as much baking as I do, I could not have that. Non-GMO 100% beef gelatin. Okay. Let me explain something here. Beef gelatin, it does not taste like beef. It is basically, like it says right here, unflavored, but it's made from beef. I'm wondering if it's made from tallow. I'm not quite sure, but I know this is unflavored. I've seen other people use it. I got a 1-pound bag, which was the smallest they had. I've never tried it for myself, but I have noticed that in a lot of in my older cookbooks, some of the recipes called for unflavored gelatin, like, you know, a teaspoon or so. And I didn't have any, and some of those desserts I want to try, especially for Dean's breakfast. So I went ahead and got a 1-pound bag. So we'll have to see how that goes. Oh yeah. Buttermilk powder. This I'm glad to have. Actually, I'm glad to have all of it. But buttermilk powder I don't keep buttermilk at all on hand in the refrigerator. We don't care to drink it. I have it for some of my recipes, but you know, making biscuits and things like that, this is good. It won't go bad. And generally, if I were to buy buttermilk, it would go bad before we would use it all. It's a big thing of parchment paper, 123 square feet. I needed this. Just another supply. Cheesecloth. I made both chicken and beef broth and used up the last of my cheesecloth. This is just a container for the cinnamon. I bought that. And then this is Dean's treat. He loved the pumpkin seeds that I got last month for him, or I can't remember, last month or the month before. But he's like, oh, they would have been better salted. So I didn't think about that when I was getting them. So I went ahead and ordered him some more. And this is a 1 pound bag. It's a nice. This box. Yes, this was absolutely fantastic buy. And this is 12 pounds of pasture-raised ground beef. $80.20. I am so happy. All in 1 pound packages. Under $7. So less than $7 a pound for 100% grass-fed beef. No grain byproducts, antibiotics, grains ever given to our cattle. And I've had this brand before from Azure, and it is really good. So I'm very happy to get this. Meat, whatever kind, is extremely expensive. I keep saying that, and it's like, yeah, everything is expensive. But even things like that used to be cheaper, like chicken. Chicken is just as much as beef anymore. It's crazy. Organic broccoli. I tried that a couple months ago. I like it. But I am more excited about not having to buy frozen produce. I really hope and pray the garden goes well. These are everything bagels, sprouted wheat. I have 3 of these. This is my breakfast. I will enjoy that with the specialty cream cheese. These are the wonderful organic flour tortillas. I get the larger size for burritos. Dean and I love them. They're actually really, really good. And then let me talk to you about this for a second. All right, so this is some more meat. It's 1 pound, and it is the same brand, Thousand Hills, but it is ground beef with ground beef heart and ground beef liver, all into the ground beef. I have heard that this is the easiest way to begin eating any type of organ meat. Dean loves liver. I do not. And I've never had anything like beef heart, or we just didn't eat it. I'm doing some research. It is super good for you. And I found a recipe that actually it is kind of like a shepherd's pie, and it calls for some of those things. So it's an older recipe. I'm going to try it and see. They say you can't really taste it. And I listened to a program when I bought a box of beef from Jill Winger's Homestead. and she actually had a podcast, and I believe it's called Offal, Offal, and what they were saying to start trying to get it into your ground meat, and it's really good for you. Was a 25-pound bag of cane sugar, organic cane sugar. You may say, Sarah, do you really use 25 pounds? Yes, I do. I bake, like I said, quite a bit, and I'm so thankful for this. Dean was, for a long time, using sweet and low in his coffee. I referred to it as rat poison. I know that stuff is horrible for you, and it bothered me that he used it in his coffee, and it was just a habit I couldn't seem to break for him. And one day we ran out. Imagine that. And so I said, well, I have this, you have to use sugar today. And he wasn't gonna go without his coffee, so he tried it, and he was shocked. And he said, this is sweeter than regular white sugar, granulated sugar. And he says, I like it. He said, so, I'll use this over the sweet and low. Victory. Oh, I'm so happy. So I filled up a sugar bowl for him, and it sits by the coffee pot, and I am ecstatic over that. Okay, well, now that everything's put away and I can sit down for a few minutes without feeling rushed or anxious to get that stuff put away, I just wanted to chat a moment about the pantry and about convenience and things like that. And the most important thing to remember that I had to learn is to start where you are. There was a time in my life I would not have been able to wrap my head around spending my monthly grocery budget, like 3/4 of it, at the beginning of the month in one place. But I had to really learn some things as I go. I started off by doing a lot of freezer meals and putting them in either for crock pot or oven, things like that. When I was still working full time and the kids were home, sometimes I felt like we lived out of that crock pot. It saved me so many times. If you would like to see any of those things that I used to do like that, please just, let me know in a comment below, and I'll be more than happy to have a video of freezer meals. But also, like I said, just start where you are. It is so very important that we be prepared, that we have a pantry, that is just one less thing to worry about. So if you can do nothing else, just start off with, let's say, what do you eat a lot of? Don't ever buy food to stock up on that your family is not going to eat. If it's a big bag of rice or flour or sugar or whatever, and put it in a 5-gallon food grade storage bucket with a Gamma Seal lid, so you don't have to worry about any types of anything getting into it, and keep it fresh and from going rancid. That's just one step at a time. It took us a while to get to this place where we are now, and we are just beginning. I had to almost completely restock my pantry when we moved in. I had stored in a climate-controlled storage unit all of our canned goods that I had done before we left Virginia, or that we were working on. And as for convenience, I totally get it. I raised 2 kids. I know schedules are hectic, and that's another thing. Believe it or not, just because you're not working the 9-to-5 grind, we're working for our own self-sufficiency. We're still working, but it's doing what we want to do. But I still have a planner. All that being said, to say, just start anything where you are, and you'll be surprised how quickly it starts to form. We had, like I said, had to rebuild our pantry, and I had to try some things out first before deciding if I wanted to buy it in bulk. And then I still shop around. I am not going to spend extra money for anything if I don't have to. So I still, each week, and that takes a little bit of time, I sit down with my computer, I check out the grocery stores locally, I check out, Azure, and I check Misfits produce online, and I just toggle between those three sites, and 95% of the time what I need is going to be cheaper in bulk. So it's just something to think about. But while I am anxiously awaiting getting outside and getting our garden bed started, the weather's still too unpredictable to really start an outside project. And I'm really trying to be patient. So if there's something that on your mind or something that you would like to see, I would love to hear about it. I am anxious for Dean to jump back in because he has built a sliding barn door for our bathroom, and it is absolutely gorgeous, and we hung it, and I'm just so happy with it. He's so talented. So thank you for joining me on Rugged Mountain Homestead today, and until next time, take care.